Kathy, good morning.
Yeah.
It's Sunday Morning Live with John M. My name's Hillary, and here is our host, John M.
Good morning. Ha! Almost caught me. You didn't almost catch me with my pants down, thank God, but caught me putting on my capo. Good morning, all, and welcome back to Sunday Morning Live. And I am, of course, your host, John M. I'm here with Hillary, and I'm also here with Pat Nason, who will be joining us in just a moment. And we're going to have some conversation and some music and some fun stuff. And as I am oft to do, I'm going to start things off with a song. This is an older song that I haven't played in a while. It's from my Still Here CD. Call you much more than I should, not nearly as much as I would. I'd be with you right now if I could have had you. It's over 3 years since we split. How come I'm not over you yet? And when will I ever forget I could have had you? I could have had you, but what did I do? Like sand in my fingers, I let you slip through. Now I'm reminded each time I meet somebody new, I could have had you. I could have had every man's dream, my own personal, beautiful queen. Hey, it's not as far-fetched as it seems. I could have had you. If only I'd known at the time, I know you would have been mine. I must have been out of my mind. I could have had you. Yeah, I could have had you, but what did I do? Like sand in my fingers, I let you slip through. And now I'm reminded each time I meet somebody new. Ooh, I could have had you. It's the high cost of being too slow, and it haunts me wherever I go. For the rest of my life I will know I could have had you. I could have had you. Could have had you. Thank you, Hillary. If Hillary likes it, that's good enough for me. So, yeah, that was Could Have Had You from my CD, Still Here. Welcome again to all of you. We always appreciate your joining us on these Sunday mornings. Thank you for last week. Last week we had Chad Watson and Pam Lowe here, and thanks to you, we have already surpassed 1,000 views on that show, and still climbing. So thank you for that support. Now, let's see how many views we can get on this week's show with this week's guest, who is a very busy man lately, and a very good singer-songwriter, Mr. Pat Nason.
Good
Pat,
morning.
welcome to
Hello.
Sunday Morning Live. Pat and I ran into each other last. We've crossed paths a few times over the years. But the last time we ran into each other, and I really got a chance to really listen to some of what you do more than I've been able to before, was at this really weird, quirky little place where we had this really weird, quirky little gig together called the Vampire Lounge down in Beverly Hills. And quite an odd night it was, but there was some good music, and you were part of it, and we kind of said hi and got reconnected there, and I said, "You want to do my show?" And you said, "Well, okay." So here we are. So
Okay.
and you're going to play us a couple songs in a minute, but you hail originally from Baltimore,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw on your web type site that you worked for quite a while for UPI, right?
Yes,
You
United
were-
Press International.
Yep. Yep. I bet you have some stories from that.
Yeah. Well, for years and years, I was the entertainment reporter, and for a living, I interviewed artists and authors and composers and actors and all kinds of interesting people. So it was a pretty good time.
Yeah, I bet it was. I've always thought it would be fun to be able to get paid for doing what you would do anyway if you could.
Well, let's not get carried away. I mean, I would have. The only reason I got to do that was because UPI was my last name, right? So
yeah.
So that's fine. That's fine with me because you get to, I've been to Charlton Heston's home.
Wow.
Interviewed Elmore Leonard, the great writer, and interviewed singers and songwriters. I did a phoner with Merle Haggard
Wow.
and what's his name, Loudon Wainwright III.
Oh man,
And,
he's one of my heroes.
Oh yeah, and some people that I really admire a lot that aren't as huge, but what's the guy? His father wrote Lonesome Dove. James McMurtry. Got a chance to interview him, and just and it's always fun. Oh, and Robert Earl Keen.
Yeah.
So it was really a nice gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn stuff from that, from talking to those guys?
Actually, some of the most important stuff I learned from those interviews.
Yeah.
Because people, there's common themes. Some people kind of are born knowing this, but because I was exposed to it, I understand that you can't make it about the money. It has to be about the work, for example. All kinds of cool and interesting things about how to go about your business. But just to observe people who are professional and established and have good professional work habits and so forth, it rubs off.
Yeah. By the way, that not making it about the money part, I got that part down. It's definitely not about the money for me.
Yeah, actually, I have come to understand that money is just a hot rumor.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, so now went back. You said you did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Were you playing music at that time also?
No, actually, when I put the guitar away for 20 years while we were raising the kids. Turns out that actually, if I could do it over, I would have kept the guitar out while we were raising the kids. But I was busy. I called myself the hardest working man in dad business. I was coaching YMCA basketball and taking meetings with the teachers and taking the kids to the medical appointments and taking them shopping for their friends' birthday parties and organizing their birthday parties and all that stuff. So I probably picked the guitar up maybe 10 times in 20 years. But then, about 10 years ago, I picked it up again. And then started writing again, and then by that time the kids were in their, late teens. They didn't need dad every 20 minutes anymore.
Right.
So I was able to start going out and playing and stuff, and then just met all these really wonderful people like Chad and Pam and all these people that are on your show all the time, and get to hang with really cool, interesting musicians and artists.
So before you put the guitar down, were you doing gigs and stuff at that point?
Played in a cover band in Baltimore back in the early 70s, and we were kind of a rock and roll band, and I played a little bit of solo back in the 70s as well.
So the what I'm getting at is that the momentum had kind of started. You were doing gigs, you were out putting it out there, and then you put it down for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then what was when you picked it back up? I mean, was it like getting back on a bike, or was it like learning how to walk all over again?
It was for for the first couple of days, it was like learning to walk all over again. But pretty soon, it got to be a little bit easier. And then I think the biggest difference was that when I started up again, I was doing it all the time. Back in the day, it was just part-time. It was just kind of, it was like a hobby.
Yeah.
And something happened and I kind of fell in love with it.
Uh-huh.
And I got to where I just needed to do it. That's another thing I learned from interviewing all those people, is that, and you'd be surprised how many people say this all the time, and you hear them say it. It's the kind of thing where you don't do it unless you absolutely, positively have to do it.
Yeah.
Because if you have to do it, well, of course do it. You don't have a choice, right?
Right.
But if you have a choice, don't. Well, so for the last 10 years or so, I've come into a place where I just don't feel like I have a choice in the matter. I've just got to do it.
Yeah. Good.
Very expensive habit.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's, I can't even imagine. I mean, I had an injury once. I had a pulled, I pulled a tendon. I broke snapped a tendon in my arm, and I was in a like a locked thing, for about 2 months. And then when I finally, it was one of these adjustable things where they could lock it so you couldn't move your arm at all, or they could fix it so you could go like that, but no more than that, and I had to build it up very slowly. And so I went somewhere between 2 and 3 months without being able to touch a guitar. And I was surprised that, when I started playing again, my arm was so weak, these muscles were so weak from not having been used, that I'd play like a verse and a chorus of a song, and my arm was just exhausted. I'd be like, oh, God, and I had to stop. And it was frightening, but I was, the good news is that within a week that went away. I just, whenever I could, I just picked up the guitar and I'd play for 5 minutes, and then if that was enough, I'd put it down. But then half an hour later, I'd pick it up again. And by the end of that week, I was playing more or less normally. So it came back pretty quick.
Did you find that did that affect your style, your approach? Did it change it in any way?
I don't think so.
Any compensation?
Did yours change after being away from it for so long?
Only that I was able to do more than I'd ever been able to do before.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
You know the story about Les Paul, about his arm? When he was a younger man, he was in a car crash, and his arm was mangled. And he had the doctors set his arm.
Yes.
So that
I did hear.
he'd be able to play, and that's the way he played for the rest of his life. His arm didn't have much mobility.
Pete Townsend, a similar thing. He when he was on tour, one of the Who's many farewell tours, he was doing one of his windmills, and the whammy bar was sticking out the other side of the guitar, and he impaled his hand on it, and it went through his hand, clean through, and so they with the guitar hanging off his hand, they took him to the hospital, and they extricated it, and they had to put a cast on him, and he told them, make sure go ahead and cast my hand, do whatever you got to do, but I got to be able to hold a pick, and it can only go up so far on my arm, And I saw him a few weeks after that. I saw the Who play a few weeks after that, and he still had the cast on his arm, and he was still. But yes.
Jimmy Hunter wants to know how you injured your arm.
Yeah, that's a good question.
No, you.
Me?
Yeah, I
Yes,
didn't injure
the short version.
That's a stupid story. I had been relaxing in a hot tub very late at night after a very long day. I was very tired, and when I got out of the hot tub, I went to lift the cover, which had gotten wet with snow, to put it back on the hot tub, and I was just lifting it, and my muscles were all soft and weak and so on, and I just lifted too much, and it just popped, and I actually heard it. I heard it and felt it. I was straining, and my arm just blew up like a balloon. I went, that ain't good. So there's your answer, Jimmy. Jimmy Hunter is one of our regular viewers and supporters of the show, and a fine drummer, I might add. Oh. Welcome, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us again. Well, I'm talking too much again, as usual. Why don't you play us a song?
I'd be happy to, sure. You want to play one with me?
You want to do that one
Let's
now?
do that.
Sure.
This song is dedicated to everybody that wants the really cool jobs, but don't want to do the work that you have to do, you know, to get ready and prepare and all
That's
that
me.
stuff. I think everybody, we can all see ourselves in this song. And actually, I recorded this song a little bit earlier this year with Chad Watson and Brad Swanson at Swan Sound over there. Where's that? Winnetka?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and it's called "I Want to Be a Cowboy." I want to be a cowboy. I want to rope and ride. I want to be a cowboy. I want to rope and ride. But I don't want to mend no fences. And I don't want to sleep outdoors at night. And I don't want to fight no bad guys. I don't want to fight no kind of fight. I just want to be a cowboy. I want to rope and ride. And I want to be a shortstop. I'm going to turn that double play. I want to be a shortstop. I'm going to turn that double play. But if you already got a shortstop, I could play second base. And if you already got a second baseman, just go ahead and try me out any place. But I want to be a shortstop. I'm going to turn that double play. Turn two, Scott. I'm gonna get my picture in the paper. I'm gonna get my name known around the world. 'Cause the cowboy and the shortstop, you know they're always gonna get the girl. That's why I wanna be a quarterback. I'm gonna lead my team to the Super Bowl. I wanna be a quarterback. I'm gonna lead my team to the Super Bowl. But I won't be there for practice Tuesday. And my Wednesdays, they belong to me. And I doubt that I'll be there on Thursday. And Friday, we just have to wait and see. But I wanna be a quarterback. I'm gonna lead my team to the Super Bowl. And I wanna be a shortstop. I'm gonna turn that double play. And I wanna be a cowboy. I wanna rope and ride. I want to be an astronaut.
That's
Awesome.
great.
Say hi to Severin Brown.
Hey,
Hey,
Sev.
Sev.
Thanks
How
for
you doing?
joining us. He was here a few weeks ago.
And
Yeah.
Eric Batelli has joined us.
Eric, good to
Hey,
see
Eric.
you here. Eric Batelli of Music Connection
He owns
magazine.
Music Connection magazine.
Another supporter of the show. Thank you, Eric, for being here and joining us and supporting the show. Appreciate it. So, when did you write that? How new is that?
That's 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, when I first started coming out to play again, nervous as a cat, because you're in LA and there's all these great musicians all over the place. And the first time I came out and played at an open mic, it was a Hollenbeck's over there in North Hollywood, and that's the first song I played. And it was really reassuring because I didn't know how to sing and play yet. I mean, I was just coming out, but it worked all right,
so to speak.
And, yeah, in a sense, but it worked out all right, and people like the song, and it's when you get that, it's pretty reassuring.
Oh yeah.
You say, okay, well, I'll come out again, play some more,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, you have some great stuff, and you have a really nice, easy, comfortable style. An easy delivery. It's just kind of, well, we're all just sitting around here singing songs.
Well, you're just telling stories, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them are true, and some of them are lies, but it doesn't make any difference. You just tell
right. I have a couple of those.
Yeah.
But
that's a true story. I want to be a cowboy. But I don't want to sleep outdoors.
Do you now, or have you ever done much cowboy stuff, riding horses, or?
I've ridden horses a little bit here and there, just on the on the riding trails and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, no, I never cowboyed. Yeah, I don't. If I was to do that, I'd have to give up everything else and just go for that, because I believe that's a pretty intense thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole way of life.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the whole idea behind the tune is that I want to do that, but
well, and it's kind of like what you were saying before about music, but you got to commit to, or really any vocation that you really care about, that you have a passion for, you have to just give yourself to it.
Somebody asked me recently. I was a theater major at Towson University.
I didn't know that.
I made double major in theater and mass communication. And somebody asked me recently, what was the most important thing I learned in the theater department? And it took me a second but then it was really clear. The answer was very clear. The most important thing I learned is commitment. I mean, it's the real meaning of commitment. It's one thing to say, yeah, I'm down. I'm going to do this, and you can count on me to be there. But commitment goes so much farther than that. I like to tell it's an old joke, but the difference between commitment and involvement? Let's say you're having ham and eggs for breakfast, right? Well, the chicken is involved in your breakfast, but the pig is committed.
Yeah.
So,
very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so when you were in theater, I assume you did a fair amount of acting.
Yeah.
And I've read and heard interviews with either with or about a lot of actors who talk about committing to a character, and I saw some program recently, I think it was about the making of Scarface, where they said Al Pacino he was in character all day, whether he was on camera or not. He showed up, and between takes and wherever, he was that guy. He was just walking around talking in that voice, and he never broke character. He said that's the way he does it. He shows up and he's there,
Right, and everybody got their own technique,
Sure.
And that's what works for him.
I'm not suggesting that's the only way to do it, but that was his approach.
Yeah.
And
that would drive me crazy if I had to live it all day long,
Well, especially if you had to be a bad guy all day long.
Oh man. Yeah.
But
one thing about acting is that one thing you do learn is you learn to sort of they call it what's my motivation. I call it what's your intention.
Right.
You play your intention. You do the same thing with a song lyric.
Yes.
You can break the song lyric down and say, what does this actually mean, or
where's this person coming from?
What do you want people to hear? What do you want people to feel off of this song? And once you understand that, you pretty much don't have to lift a finger.
Yeah.
Just sing the song and keep your mind where the idea is, where the feeling is, and you're good.
Yeah. I sometimes compare it to just having a conversation with somebody. If you and I are just by ourselves and we're talking and I'm telling you about something that happened to me yesterday, I'm not just going to sit here and go, oh, so then this happened and that happened. I'm going to be making contact with you, and I want to make sure that you get what I'm telling you. You know, it doesn't have to be musical or poetic or anything else, but I want to know that you understand what I went through and that you feel something from it. It's the same thing with, I think, with singing a song.
And you know, and technique matters too, because while you're doing that, at the same time, you want to be sure that your articulation is good. You want to be sure that you know all the technical things that go into it. You know, the more you work that stuff out, the better chance you're going to have of actually reaching the person that's going to hear it and feel it and get something off of it.
Yeah, yeah. You got another one?
Sure. Let's see here.
While you're getting ready, I should mention that there's probably, I don't know if anybody's asked yet, but there's probably a couple of people wondering who is that person in the background?
Oh.
And that is your lovely wife, Catherine.
Well, we're not married, but
okay. I'm sorry. It's your lovely partner, Catherine.
People that often, you know, have that perception. But
okay.
But we're good. You know?
And
Kathy Marshall.
Kathy is helping us out this morning. Thank you very much, Kathy, with the.
So go on and say hi to Kathy while you're at it.
Yeah.
And Kathy, if you could put his website on the comments. Just type in the comment his website. And
So
then
look
if
for
you
it.
can hand us those CDs so he can show it.
Oh yeah. No,
Okay, so this song I'm going to play is actually on one of these CDs. I got two CDs that I made with the late and wonderful Brian Patterson. He's been gone these 2 years. This is nearly new. It's a 4-song EP. And then All the Time in the World, which I made with the regular crew, which was Ed Posick, who we lost this year, and Susan T. Bull, and Deborah Houston. And or Houston Clower, Debbie Houston Clower, but I call her Houston. Anyway, so these are available. They're on CD Baby. And you can just go to my website, patnasonsongs.com, and go there, and you can stream them, or you can buy them, or you can look at videos and whatever else. But this song I'm going to sing right now is on Nearly New, and it's a co-write with Susan T. Bull. Most of us know her as Sue Blue, and it's called The Music, the Bottle, and You. It's Saturday night, and I'd be feeling alright if I just wasn't feeling so blue. But I won't shed a tear, 'cause my friends are all here. The music, the bottle, and you. The music always helps me remember the times. The bottle always helps me forget. And I know you're long gone, but your memory hangs on. And I'm not nearly over you yet. But pride is a sin, so let the good times begin, and let's drink to the love we once knew. And let's have a toast to the ones I love most, the music, the bottle, and you. It's 1:45, and we're still having fun, the way all the fun people do. I've turned down the lights, we're all in for the night. It's just me and the regular crew. The radio is playing a blast from the past. It's the story of all we've been through. It's all in the game, and ain't that a shame? shame. Our love was too good to be true. But I ain't gonna worry. Let's drink and be merry. Let's make us a new memory or two. Let's make a toast to the ones I love most. The music, the bottle, and you. Let's make a toast to the ones I love most. The music, the bottle, and you.
Yeah, yeah. That's I hear a little Hank influence in that.
A little bit,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always heard it with big lush strings, like an Eagles. You know, when the Eagles get all the strings going there. But it turns out that it's just a little song, and any way you play it.
Yeah. No, it works. There's a kind of a simplicity to some of your writing that I think is really cool. It's you know, the whole less is more thing, and that I was thinking, I was reminded as you were playing that interview, there was a show on Johnny Cash, kind of a retrospective of him, and we were talking about how, you know, Johnny always, you know, everything he did was always, and some guitar player, famous rock guitar player, was asking him. He said, "Well, you know, you do something that's all that walk up and that, you know, the 1 and the 5 or the 1 and the 4 and that just that pattern, that bass pattern you have, and it seems to show up in almost everything you do." And he said, these days, you know, there's all these other guitarists all over the place that are whipping up and down the neck and doing all these crazy things in different modes and different jazz chords and all this crazy stuff, and you just stay right there in that pocket. And Johnny Cash said, "Well, all those other guys that are doing all that crazy stuff, they're still searching for it. I found it." I thought that was great.
Well, I'll tell you the honest truth. If I could do all that crazy stuff, I'm sure I would do it. So I'm glad I can't, because I'm pretty sure it would just get in the way. One of the most useful things I've learned, and it only came to me just a couple years ago, is that you just sing the song. Just sing the song. That's all. Because why are you doing it if it isn't about the song?
Yeah.
So just sing the song, and everything else that you do, whether it's the picking or whatever. If it doesn't support the song, don't do it. It just gets in the way, and because people want to hear the song, and the song wants to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you describe yourself. I looked at your website, and you say of yourself, it's sort of relaxed fit Americana, which I like that. I like that term. Americana is already kind of a broad umbrella that covers everything from kind of folk and you know, just one step shy of bluegrass on up to kind of maybe not heavy metal, but you know, some mainstream rock and roll a little bit. And
I mean, John Hyatt, rock and roll. That's Americana,
absolutely.
Right?
And I think, you know, if this is country music right here, right, and this over here is well, no, how do I want to put this? Yeah, if this is country music and this is rock and roll over here, I can't do it visually. I see you as being very close to the countryside of Americana, and I'm kind of maybe 2 steps toward the rock side from you in a lot of what I do. There's still a fair amount of country in what I do, but there's some rock in what I've heard some of the stuff you do. So we both kind of overlap there, I think, a little bit.
There's you can say that my stuff is country, but it's not Nashville.
Right.
You can say that it's rock and roll, but it's not really rock and roll. It's kind of folk. It's kind of this. You can even a little bit of show tune influence even shows up.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. I think everybody who writes, I think, produces their own blend of everything they've heard in their life and whatever reached them, whatever got inside there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's going to come out, is who you are.
Yeah. Suppose I were to do one more song, and then you and I did one together
Go
to
for it,
finish
yeah,
it
of
off.
course.
Does that make sense to you? I have a song that's sort of country-ish. When I lived in Nashville, I wrote a song about Nashville, which of course is thought of as a country town, and so of course it was a rock and roll song. So now I'm in LA, and I have written a song about LA that is kind of country, which is about as appropriate as writing a rock and roll song for Nashville. But anyway, this is called LA Story. I hope you enjoy it. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. Too many people driving around, too many cars and trucks. Too much crime, not enough time, not enough bucks. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. We got Universal Studios and Disneyland and the WB. You can see all three for about $1,000. Or you can go down by the ocean, stepping in the sand. See the Hollywood sign, go to Hollywood Bowl, see a rock and roll band. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. Too many people driving around, too many cars and trucks. Yeah, too much crime, not enough time, not enough bucks. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. You might make it in the movies, some people do. For every 1,000 that try, maybe one or two. You might meet some famous people here, I've met a few. You might meet some, but son, they won't remember you. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. Too many people driving around, too many cars and trucks. Too much crime, not enough time, not enough bucks. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. Ah, the weather's always beautiful, they say it never rains. Okay, once in a while it does, but no one complains. And those long-legged ladies down on the Sunset Strip, oh, they be rocking that trip-hop, gangster, bankster, hip-hop shit. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks. Too many people driving around, too many cars and trucks. Too much crime, not enough time, not enough bucks. Too crowded, too expensive, and the music sucks.
Yeah.
So that's I love you, LA. That's the good, the bad, the ugly. It's all in there. So how are we doing here? Yeah, we're about there. Is there anybody else you want to mention? Anybody I need to say hi to?
Stephen
questions?
Bannon
Who?
Hey, Stephen.
Ah,
from the Pats.
Yeah.
Gary and Marilyn and Angelina.
hi, folks.
Sure.
Welcome to all of you again.
Did you want to ask Pat about his upcoming gigs?
Of course, thank you. Wow, man,
I'm glad you asked.
I would be lost without Hillary. That was going to be the first thing I was going to ask you. I know you're playing this afternoon at Adams Pack Station.
Yep, playing a set with Tom Lamag and Jerry DeYoung, and we're going to play It's a trio, 3 acoustic guitars and 3 harmonies, and each of us is going to do 4 original songs, and it's really blasting. We've had some really nice run-throughs and rehearsals and stuff, and the songs are definitely benefiting.
And for those who don't know, I know because I've played there, but for those who don't know what or where Adams Pack Station is.
So Adams Pack Station, look it up. It's up in the Angeles National Forest, up in the San Gabriel Mountains. You go across the 210 to the Santa Anita highway, Boulevard, Street, whatever exit, and you go north on Santa Anita Boulevard, and it'll take you right up there. They got food. They got burgers and dogs and beer and soda.
Maybe you can put a link to that in the comments.
Yeah, we can put a link to that in the
can,
comments.
yeah.
And music starts at noon. It's the 18th Barnyard Jamboree, and they got Grit and Tommy Alfaro's playing, and Cynthia Brando's going to be up there.
Oh, cool.
And it's just
Cynthia Brando's here too, by the way. Say hi.
Hey, Cynthia.
oh, hey, Cynthia. So, and we're gonna, and I'm leaving somebody out. But anyway, that's going on till from noon till 5. And Thursday night at the Other Door in North Hollywood on Burbank Boulevard, I'm playing on Adam Sears' Sweet Live Music Series. Another lineup. Adam always has the best players. He's got another great lineup. And I've got a band that's got Todd Szabo on drums and Brian Mertens on bass and David Fry on guitar, J.J. Schock on keys, Robbie Wilson on percussion, and Fish Olmos on mandolin.
Wow.
And Dolly Ramirez is going to sing one of my songs, and she's we've just been workshopping it for the last couple of weeks, and she's crushing it. I can't wait to do it live. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
Tara Covington said, "Do you ever make it down to San Diego?"
Not really, but if there's a reason to go, sure, I'll go. You got any place to play down there? I'd love to play down there. I like San Diego. I've been there it's funny, I've been in LA like 25, 26 years. I've only been to San Diego like 4 times.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
That is wrong. You and I both need to spend more time down
Yeah.
there. There are gigs to be had down there. I keep seeing people playing down there. So I will tell people that this afternoon's gig at Adams Pack Station, it's, having been there myself, it's worth going up there just for the drive up there. It's so gorgeous. The Santa Anita, whatever it is,
San Gabriel
takes you up into where the pack station is, and the road gets smaller and smaller. It turns into this kind of almost dirt road, but the views and the scenery up there are just spectacular, and it's this really cool little place just nestled in the mountains and the forest, and it's beautiful. And you get to listen to Pat and all these other people.
Just gorgeous up there, and the music sounds great. It's this beautiful pastoral. Then they got goats and mules and chickens, and sometimes the chickens walk, with the band. Like I feel like I want to teach them some backing vocals or something.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that should be fun. And then the Other Door in NoHo on
That's
Thursday
on
night.
Thursday night. That's a $5 cover, 21 plus, and we go up at 8:40, but the music starts at 8. And believe me, when you go to Adam's shows, just come early and stay late because
You can put a link to that too.
Yeah, I'll put a link to that as well. Yeah.
And I'll just go ahead and tell people your website is patmasonsongs.com.
Nason, not Mason now, Nason.
Pat Nason, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's
I thought I meant to say
That's
Nason.
okay. I've been getting that
Sorry.
since the first grade.
Sorry.
PatNasonSongs.com. Yeah.
So, you want to do a song? Finish
Sure.
this thing off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do Pat Nason and I are both John Prine fans. So
I'm sorry, John who?
yeah. So we thought we'd knock this one out just to finish things off today. Thank you all for coming. A quick thank you to supporters of the show, Music Connection Magazine, CAD Microphones, Fishman Audio, Shub Capos. We appreciate you all. Thanks to all of you who join us every single week, faithfully, religiously. We appreciate it. Next week, Hillary and I will be, as they say in the biz, on the road. We'll be up north, up around Santa Cruz. We have a Sunday morning gig up there, but we will be doing our show Sunday morning from Santa Cruz, and I believe I have a guest booked for that show. I haven't absolutely confirmed it yet, so I don't want to say his name, but it'll be cool. One way or another, we will have a guest. I think I know who it's going to be, but if it's not him, it'll be somebody else. But we will have a guest one way or another next Sunday, And then the Sunday after that, we will still be traveling, and John Zipper, our old friend John Zipper, will be returning to the show once again, because it just so happens we're going to be traveling some of the same places together. Like it when that happens. So anyway, thank you all for coming. Thanks for joining us. Please continue to like and share as you have been doing, and tell your friends about us. Here now, Pat Nason and John M. doing John Prine. When I was a child, my family would travel down western Kentucky where my parents were born. There's a backwoods old town there, it's often remembered. So many times that my memories are worn. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay. I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. Yeah. Well, now sometimes we travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Adrie Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we'd shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles is all we would kill. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay. I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Hey. But then the coal company come with the world's largest shovel, and they tortured the timber and they stripped all the land. They dug for that coal till the land was forsaken, and they wrote it all down as the progress of man. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay. I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. When I die, let my ashes float up the Green River. Let my soul roll up over Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven, paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. Oh, and Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay. I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Yeah, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. That was sweet. Thank you, sir. All right, Pat Nason and Kathy, and I am John M., your host. And thank you for joining us. That's going to do it for us for this Sunday morning. It's been a lot of fun for us, as it always is. I hope it will be for you too. Your questions, comments, feedback are always welcome. I will be answering them as I always do. I'll go through all the comments later and say hi to you and answer any questions you might have, etc., etc., etc. A parting word, perhaps, from our lovely camera lady, Hillary.
Yeah, thank you, Pat, so much for coming over, for
Thank
getting
you
up
for
early,
having me,
and
yeah.
Kathy, thank you too for joining us. And everybody, thanks for coming, and have a great week.